Hello, and welcome to this month's webinar on how to delight your customers and create long-lasting loyalty. So the secret to all of this will, it's not rocket science, first of all. But before we get to all of the nitty and gritty and stuff, I'm just going to do a little bit of, housekeeping and all of that. So before we begin, don't stress on taking notes. So this is all getting recorded. This is all going to be posted up to our YouTube channel. And yes, shameless plug. If you are not subscribed yet, please do. So we do have other short videos as well, but this is where all of our webinars will be posted up as well. They will be typically posted up shortly after this. So if you did miss it, you'll be very happy to know. You can go ahead and share this and all that. So next up after this is for any questions specific to any of the parts, try to put them into the Q&A section instead of just the chat, just to keep things a little bit cleaner. I do have a moderator watching for Q&A that will help me when we get to the Q&A section of this part, so that way we can pull out all of it and we don't have to get lost in the chat area. So that lives down in the fun little blocks area, and then Q&A as well. So just as a heads up. So moving on, who is Third Angle and why should you even care to listen to us? So Third Angle, first of all, we've been around for a little while. We've been around since 1982, the year that the computer was named Man of the Year, unironically. And one of the reasons why this webinar for this topic in particular is just a passion point for us in particular is because we've had clients with us for many years, and we have many generations of clients as well, and our retention rate has been over 95% for the majority of that time. And the really only reason why we've ever lost clients is because they've gone out of business or hey, they've been bought out by other companies. It is an extremely rare position for us to be found in of when a client leaves us because they're unhappy with us. So really happy to say that. And the other point that I like making as well when it comes to customer delight is that we're an extremely small team. We're not big. We've got 3 full-time employees and 1 VA that will actually, they're not fully started yet, so they're coming on at this point in time. But so customer delight doesn't require a big team. It can be done very simply without breaking like your actual brain and causing just complete and utter shutdown. So it is possible. And then who am I? Hi, I'm Sarah Perry, and I'm their senior director over at Third Angle. I have been with the company for 8 years now, and I have worked my way up since just doing the marketing assistant all the way up to what I am doing now. And I basically run all the things. My other title is Chaos Tamer and sometimes Chaos Bringer. Sorry, team. But I have been doing a lot of different things in the marketing world for nearly 20 years now, and beyond that. So I find a lot of joy in it. And when I am not doing stuff in the marketing world, I tend to be a little bit of a nerd. I love movies and Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't know what that is, just play it once. Just be a little imaginative and be a little kid for just a short period of time. It's fun to do. And then because I'm in Colorado, I have to do the typical thing. I love snowboarding. That is who I am. I have done a lot of different things. But at the same time, I'm still human. So feel free to make fun of all of my stumbles and wrong words. And if we have any technical errors, just roll with it. It may happen. So the whole point with customer delight, why should you even care? Well, the obvious reason is we all want to keep our customers around. So that's kind of a big point. But the big, thing here is just to throw some numbers at you. So consumers are like 3.5 times more likely to purchase again from a positive experience. And without even putting that number out there, I think we kind of all knew that. But even to throw some more numbers at you, like $35 billion are lost due to bad customer experience. Now that's obviously in a general sense, in a big pool. But when you really look at individual businesses, like that's still a lot of money, you know, when you look at your business and if you were really to look at the financial side of how much you were lost to a bad customer experience. And I think we can all just think of personal experience when like, oh, I'm never shopping here again. And then the other one of my favorite stats is 86% of customers are willing to pay more. And that's up to 13% more when they have a better customer experience. So regardless of whatever you charge, and even if like you feel like you're charging like too much right now, you're just kind of like not sure if you could charge more. If you improve your customer experience, you could charge more. So don't be afraid to. So with all that put aside, what exactly are the 4 pillars of customer experience? So the 4 pillars are these. Consistent business identity. Essentially, make your business as predictable as possible for your audience. Don't make them think. The second one is authority. Build that authority. You need to spread your information about your business and essentially engage your audience and prove that you are worth listening to. And then thirdly is the better serve your customers. Create that repeatable standard processes and policies so you just run more efficiently. And number 4 is just create raving fans. Who doesn't like raving fans? Understand your audience so you can better showcase your value and they better see your value. So there are the 4 pillars in a nutshell. So let's dive into the first one. The first one is create a consistent business identity. So what exactly is business identity? Everything your customer can interact with will shape the way they think about your business. Don't mind the typo. So what does that mean? That means your branding, like your logo. That means your messaging. And that also means the way that you actually interact with them, your phone calls, your emails, everything like that. So everything that is tangible towards your customer is going to shape them. We've all had that experience at McDonald's. I don't even need to say more. We've all had the experience. We've all had the experience at Starbucks when they misspell your name, like good, bad, or indifferent, and we've all had that super amazing experience at the XYZ business. And that's why we return or don't return. So there's only 2 sides. You can either be consistently good or consistently bad. You can't be in between because people only remember the good or the bad. They don't remember, well, I had kind of a meh experience. It's people either are angry or they're happy. There's never in between. And basically there's really that. So, let's try that. So how do you kind of create this? So again, be as consistent as possible. First things first is to address the brand itself. I do have a slight biasism because one of the parts that I am passionate about is just your brand identity, because that is one of the things that can just showcase you've got stuff put together, and that's your logo and that's your fonts and just everything, all that. If you have all that put together, you could have a hot mess in the back room, but darn, if you don't look good, it's going to present a little bit better. So create a brand standards guide and actually use it. So what do I mean by the brand standard guide? That means how do you use your logo? What are the different variations of your logo? So for instance, our little logo down here is the triangle and the third angle. The other way we use this logo is we also just use the triangle. The other things that we also use about it is it's always in the singular color. We didn't used to do it this way. We used to have different colors in it. We've just gone to the single color. It's either the stark kind of gray color or it's all white. Now, when it comes to colors, pick your colors and stick with them. Canva is a great place for this. Use the free version if you don't want to use the paid version, but at least pick them. Just go somewhere and find out what your colors are and stick with them. So that way you're always using the same colors over and over again. And what color combos are you using? Use the same thing. And then next up is what kind of elements are you using over again? Are you using circles, triangles, squares? How are you using them? All of that good stuff. Again, consistency, standardize. And last of all, fonts. If there's one thing, that people will get confused about, and it's not even they're conscious of it, is when businesses use different fonts. It's an extremely subtle thing, but fonts will confuse customers on like a subconscious level. Same thing with colors. I'll get off that soapbox. Next up is, and this is a biggie one, is outlining how each customer interaction happens. So this goes down back to your emails and your in-person greetings and your phone calls and everything. If you have a team, this needs to be trained. And regardless of what experience your team member has, or even you have, it needs to be documented and it needs to be templated. So kind of going back down to here, template things. Write out an email template, put it in like whatever email program you use, save that email so you can reuse it over and over and over again. When it comes to phone calls, write the script out. How should the phone call go? How should the in-person, greeting go? Every time you walk into Subway, welcome to Subway. It's in their training. It's in their training guide. So think of it that way. Every time, someone is purchasing something, how does that, at the checkout, how does that process need to go? That will shape how the customer experiences happen every single time. If you were at a masseuse, how does that whole process go? If you were at a doctor's visit, how does that whole process go? If you were a plumber, how does that whole visit go? So on and so forth. And two great examples I love using for consistency is DoubleTree by Hilton and Starbucks, because everyone knows those. So DoubleTree by Hilton, if you haven't stayed at a DoubleTree in a while, you probably see their shuttles or whatnot somewhere in the US, but they all have a cookie on the side. They've been doing this whole cookie thing since the 1980s. But every single time that you go and check in at a DoubleTree, you get a fresh cookie. And personal experience, those cookies are good. They have a secret recipe for those cookies. But they do it, and they've been doing it for years, and it works every single time, and they've built branding around it. And it's just to basically offer, one, when you walk into their facility, you smell fresh baked cookies. And two, it just, it enhances their experience every time you walk in. And when it comes to Starbucks, their branding is absolutely iconic. When I searched for a clip art image in Canva for a coffee cup, this is what came up. And without doubt, I bet every single person could identify this was a Starbucks cup. Why? Because it's a forest green circle on a brown loop thing, which I never remember the name of, on a white cup. It's Starbucks. So make it iconic, make it memorable, make it predictable. Next up, establish your authority. Okay, I'm going to get a small, tiny soapbox for a small sec. It's not going to be a big one, but a lot of small businesses especially, like to think of their businesses as the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. I have to kind of dispel this, and I feel bad doing it, but if you build it, doesn't mean they'll come. Sorry, not sorry. This is where authority comes in. Yes, it worked in the movie, but they were also ghosts. So you deal with real human beings. Real human beings need to be told about your business. So how do you tell people about your business? First of all, tell Google about it, because you got to. In reality, Google is the biggest player in the game. Right now, they're sitting around 90% of the market share of searches. So no matter how your personal feelings are about Google, you got to pay attention to them. And because they are an aggregator for a lot of other directories on the internet, you gotta put your stuff on there. So if you don't already have a Google business profile, go ahead and do it. Now, small caveat, if you are a purely digital business, you have no physical location, people don't visit you, this is a little bit hard, and I understand that this could be a little bit funky. So you have to kind of circumvent this. So if you are purely digital, this is something that won't be possible for you. However, you still can get around it. So this is where the asking for reviews consistently. So in lieu of this, create social profiles. Regardless of your feelings of social media, you're going to have to create something. Most professionals nowadays go to LinkedIn. I would go there. Depending on your industry, will depend on where the social media you need to go to. But if you are purely digital, you won't be able to, so go to social media. For reviews, regardless of industry, you need them. You need them. I was just actually looking up some really fun statistics because everybody loves statistics and they really do highlight some good information for folks. So basically right now, consumers see online reviews as just as good as personal recommendation. So from a survey from Bright Local, which is a pretty reputable local search engine optimization company, they are seeing that 49% of shoppers are basically just seeing reviews as personal recommendations. And I think we can all say we can feel that when we go to Amazon. If a product has like two stars out of like 5,000 reviews, we're like, I don't know. So reviews matter, and do not be afraid to ask. And when it comes to asking for it, do not shy away from a bad review. You've got to bring it head on and address it head on, because when businesses censor reviews and all they have is 5-star reviews, it's sus. It's highly sus. So be as authentic as possible. You're going to have 1-star reviews. Third Angle has a 1-star review, and it is all because of a bad phone call. It didn't have anything to do with the business, but we got a 1-star review and we addressed it. So, and that is the other part of reviews. Always address every single review. Reply to them all saying, thank you so much. Oh, I love when you stopped in. Or if it's a bad one, address it head up. No, don't get all into the weeds and, this and that and whatever, but address it, and be very just kind of plain about it. Next up is be helpful. And one part of this that I personally have been employing with Third Angle that has been surprisingly helpful, is just one of those places that some folks don't really think about, is Reddit. Yes, you can engage on social media. Everybody says that. So one thing you don't hear about is Reddit. It's just one of those platforms that not a lot of people think about, but just in general, be helpful. That regardless of where you are, if somebody has a question, just answer it. Don't hold your knowledge completely behind gated pay. Now, don't give it away for free entirely. There is a line. But when someone has just a general question and they're just asking, for some general knowledge, be helpful, because they'll see that, hey, this person here has some knowledge and is just there to be helpful. Hence, this type of thing we're doing here, this webinar. This is good information that this needs to be known by everyone, regardless. So be helpful. And then when it comes to other places to build authority is local networking groups, local and/or local, if it when it comes to nowadays with this, or industry organizations. There are tons of industry organizations out there, and I know it might seem kind of odd to join a group that's if you're a part of a specialty group, let's say spiritual healing and stuff like that, you join a group of 1,000 spiritual healers, and you're like, well, why would I do that? Well, not all of you do the same thing, the same way. And not all of you like the same type of clientele. You could all help each other. So think in abundance, not scarcity. So this is where joining networking and all of that can really be helpful. So don't be afraid of these. Even for introverts out there, it might sound right now that I am an extrovert. Oh, Lord, no. After this, I will go hide in a corner, go eat some Skittles, and recoup from this extroverted moment. After all doing that, write content. Now, don't be afraid of writing content. If you're bad at writing, hire someone. Don't be afraid to outsource this. Okay. Writers are one of, if not the most outsourced person to hire. Okay. So, but get out there and write content, because in reality, this is something that you need to be doing, or even creating downloadables and all of that good stuff. So, and then finally, go old school. Spread the word via direct mail or every door direct mail, because it's back. Thank you, 2020. We got digital overload. So this is one of those things where it does work. And I actually found a really, really great statistic that I'd like to share with you guys. And is via USPSdelivers.com, which is a neat site. Coordinating digital and direct mail increased the response rate by 63%, website visits by 68%, and leads by 53%. That's coordinating digital and physical. And we at Third Angle do that all the time, because we actually do digital and physical, since we're a print and digital agency. So this I can speak from personal experience. It does work. So neat little factoid here. So moving right along, you have to prove you are worth paying attention to. So when I was looking at the attendee list, I was looking at the industries. There's kind of a breakdown of the following industries. So when it comes to proving authority for like healthcare and trades, create answers for FAQs and like how it works. Videos are wonderful. If you can get over just doing videos, just do videos, because they're a lot faster and they're easier than writing. And people love faces. Writing is great. Absolutely love writing. Google still loves words. So if you can write, do it. But create FAQs and how it works for healthcare and trades. Great way to start proving authority. When it comes to specialty services, so like the kind of just specialty. I kind of lumped them all. Downloadable content is wonderful because then you can do nice little short pieces of content. They can download them for free by paying with their email, and then you can nurture that relationship through email campaigns. And yes, email does work. It's just one, write the content correctly and segment your email list. And then finally, for nonprofits, sharing stories is one of the best ways of just showing that, you know, your mission and everything for, you know, what you're doing. Stories are wonderful. We have a humane society that we assist and everything. And every time that we share a success story, it just gets loads and loads of attention because people love seeing that. So, and even when we have a story of a rescue, you know, that gets attention as well. So, and if encourage kind of that email sign up as well, because email newsletters do work for nonprofits as well. Again, it comes down to content and email segmentation. And social media does work pretty well for nonprofits. It just depends on your exact nonprofit target and what kind of, again, content. So just some little tidbits for that as well. All right. On to number 3, how to better serve your customers. Okay, even with all the technology in the world, it will not save you. So if you don't have established systems, you're dooming your customer experience, even with all the technology you have. Okay, in this case, technology will not save you. I'm really, really sorry. I have fallen trap to this. I will fully stand up and say, hi, my name is Sarah, and I have fallen to the technology trap. I'll be right there. It's fine. I'll attend those meetings. And I have people that will be like, yeah, she has. So systems will save you. So when it comes to building those systems, though, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. But when it comes to these policies and SOPs, standard operating procedures, are what will help you build that solid foundation. Because even if you're a solopreneur or a person with like 50 team members, if you have that solid foundation of here's everything that we need, here's our policies. Hey, if we have an invoice, a client that has unpaid invoices of $5,000 or more, they got to pay up front. That's a policy. That's great. That's something that's standardized. You don't have to have employee, 72 come ask you, hey, how do I handle this? Because they know, they can look it up, or it's, hey, boss, how do I do this? Because I've never done this before. Hey, here's the SOP on that. And you can send them that. So don't be afraid of writing these, but also don't make them so overcomplicated. They're going to sit on the shelf like this big yellow book here and they collect dust. So when it comes to creating these, make it simple on yourself. If you are someone that is comfortable with technology and everything, like some programs like Loom, you can do 5-minute videos. Just film your screen doing it with you talking over if you have a webcam and a mic, or if just write down what you do as you go. Make things simple. As things happen for like policies, keep a working document of like, this happened, and write it down so you remember, because if you do a process every day, that's one thing. If you do a process every month, that's another. If you do a process every 3 to 6 months or annually, are you going to remember? Or occasionally, because it doesn't come up until like occasionally. That's one of those things, always making sure. And use technology to complement and enhance your business, not completely like just run it for you. Now there's tons of stuff out there, Dubsado and 1223, whatever hats there are in that program. But there's all those that help you run your business. But again, help you. So they don't run it for you. You have to set all that up. So if you don't have the processes and policies and all that other stuff set up, it's still just a program that's a skeleton. So take the time, set aside, a half hour every week or whatever, just to like set things up, make a goal for yourself, 1 to 2 a week, just write 1 to 2 policy, like write 1 policy and 1 SOP a week. And then last thing here, this is a lesson that I've learned myself. And it's never too early to hire. However, you can hire too quickly. This statement, I wish I could like just tattoo on my forehead sometimes, because it's one of those things. I know it's hard to delegate and push things off, especially when you've got a lot of stuff on your plate and you're like, I don't know who else can do it. Trust me, someone else can do it. You just have to be able to write down the process and find the right person. And it is always time to find that right person, but don't just hire just for hiring's sake. So I wanted to include this topic here. It's never too early. It just don't hire too quickly. Okay. All right. Last one. This is the fun one. The lighting. Yay! And I'm just going to go here. Hold on. Just to get everybody woken back up. Whee! We're pillar 4. Okay. Is everyone awake yet? Okay, good. All right. So delighting customers. This is the one that, we've all had good intentions. Me, myself. It's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But delighting customers isn't hard. Start small. The key is start small. Just start something, okay? Even if it is just, I'm going to write a thank you note once a week to 1 customer. Just write and send it off, or an email, whatever it is, a phone call. Phone calls are great. Hop on the phone call, say, hi, Susie Q. You've been a customer of mine for, 6 years. Thank you. And that's all. You have no idea how much that would change that person's day. So the big thing is using the element of surprise. Surprise will always, make that person happy. Every woman out there is like, no, I don't like getting flowers. But seriously, who doesn't like getting flowers randomly? Okay. Men, same thing. If you get a bouquet, come on. So doing things like that are just going to be surprise and create that just surprise delight, adding like strategically free, and I put strategic specifically in there because you don't just want to give away, everything, but doing strategically free things to say, you know what, Susie Q, you've been a client for a while. We've been wanting to do this for you, but at the same time, I know you've had a restricted budget and we want you to just keep growing. And we really believe in your business. So we're going to do this for you. And that's a strategically free item. And you can say, hey, this typically costs, XYZ, but we're going to include this for you because we appreciate you so much. And you've been a customer for so long. So that's why I say strategically free. You always kind of want to include the price in there. And sometimes, discount is a bit of a pain point for me personally, just because it's, a discount, a discount and skimp on your profits. But, sometimes discounts are okay, so don't be afraid to just do a little bit of a discount every so often, as long as you're not going to skimp on that profit for you and your revenue. Provide referral kickbacks, and kickbacks don't have to be monetary. They really don't. They can just be strategically free upgrades. They can be swag. Everybody loves swag. They can be even like little gift cards. Just doing if somebody gets a referral, an Amazon gift card. Now, that does cost the company, but if the referral kickback, let's say, is $1,000 product, and you give the person, a $50 gift card, that could be well worth it, so it's just the cost of that lead. So these referral kickbacks, or even just doing like extensive surveys, things like that, these are always great. And as well with these referrals, that if it's coming from an existing customer, they're typically going to be more qualified leads to you, typically, and especially depending on how this is built out as well. And then always sharing in your customer's excitement. So in the case for for instance, realtors are amazing at this, and I absolutely just shout out to all realtors. Is they are so good at sharing customers' excitement, because obviously they're getting a kickback when they sell a home. But most realtors like, hey, we just sold this house for this person. I'm so excited. Susie Q and the family are getting in this home, blah, 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 blah. So share that excitement, post on social media, make that blog post, things like that, don't be afraid to share it, or for even like a more retail space, more in that sense as well, is even just somebody happened to come in and they just shared this story about they bought this XYZ thing for a friend because they were having a bad day. And it's just a cute story, don't have to share names, but you could just share something nice. It was something, fun to do. So share in the excitement, be excited with them. And then insurance companies, like my personal insurance agent, they're on the ball. Every birthday, anniversary, holiday, they send cards. Now, do I open them and roll my eyes every single time? Yes. But do I love it? Yes. Because it does remind me that they are there. It's that creating top of mind, of course, for all of this. So, yes, will your customers sometimes think it's cheesy? Yeah. But you know what? It's another way to say, hey, I'm thinking of you, and, I'm celebrating with you to come up here. And then, of course, the special offers and events and things like that. So if your demographic is particularly something, so like if you, like this month is Women's Month, I'm pretty sure it is. And your demographic is primarily women, celebrate it, do some sort of special offer. If your audience is, let's say they have, trying to think of another, October, they're all like breast cancer survivors. October is a big month. So things like that, celebrate around those important dates or anything. Obviously holidays, things like that too, if that's a mattering. Develop a community. This is the biggest one. Obviously, this is something that's a bit more serious, takes a lot more work, but sometimes it can work. So this is kind of the biggie on all of this. But the big takeaway to all of this is start small. Quote I heard recently from a dear friend of mine was, grains of sand make a beach. So pick a grain of sand from this list and do one of them today, and just create small goals for one of these to happen. So that way you just start kind of picking things and doing things small, and that way you can kind of build on them. Don't try and eat the whole elephant. You eat the elephant one bite at a time. So one of the ways that we started off with this was literally just sending that handwritten note. Thanks. We really appreciate your business. We were thinking of you. Hope you have a great week. And that was it. So that is all 4 pillars. So now let's go ahead and we are going to hand it over to Q&A. So are there any Q&A that we can help go through? And I'm going to pop it up as well. And if not, I will get through and let you guys finish lunch early. And all that. All right.
I don't have any questions. Just wanted to say thank you. I thought that was great.
Oh, you are so welcome. And thank you for the kind words and everything. You guys are an easy bunch. Well, if there's not too many questions, what I will do then is, let me pop it over to the next screen, is if you guys think of anything afterwards, again, this will be posted up to our YouTube channel, which is basically just Third Angle Co. So you can go on there. And I'm going to do the shameless plug all the way at the beginning here. Go all the way back. There we go. So YouTube, and I think it's boards that should work. Otherwise, I am more than happy to schedule a 20-minute call to just kind of go through, if you're feeling stuck or anything, about any of the 4 areas. If there's something specific to you and your specific business, if you're feeling stuck, would love to help you get unstuck. Because I know when you're in the middle of your own forest, you need someone else to kind of be like, hey, over here. So I have that as well. So again, I am just very appreciative for you guys joining me live today. And we will be doing these webinars on a monthly basis. So we'll be posting up the schedule on our Third Angle website, and we'll be sending out that schedule to you guys. So every month we'll have a new topic. And if you happen to miss it, and it'll be on YouTube. So otherwise, I will just go ahead and cut it off here and let you guys have some free time for the rest of your lunch, if you're on lunch, or if you're not, just go sneak away for another 5-minute breaks. Go stare at some sunshine if there's a little bit out there. Otherwise, my name is Sarah Perry, and I am from Third Angle. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day. Bye, guys.